and we be talking about a specific program that we have at the Gaia project and some exciting things coming up with this program, some new component. So without further ado, I'm gonna share screen here. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure to that. Okay, great. So yeah, we're, like I said, we're really happy. We want to first acknowledge the land we are working on as well. So I'll let my colleague Annalie take that one here, and then I'll be back with you.
So it is very important to us, and like many others, that we pay respect to the elders, past and present, and descendants of this land. So we honor the knowledge keepers and seek their guidance as we strive to develop closer relationships with Indigenous peoples of New Brunswick. But I'd also like to read that the Gaia project recognizes and respectfully acknowledges that all of our educational interactions take place on the unsurrendered and unceded traditional lands of Wolastoqiyik and Mi'kmaq peoples. So this territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which the Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples signed in the British Crown in 1725.
Thank you, Annalie. A little bit about us. I know we had a bit of a presentation here, but just to tell you guys where we are actually, what territory we're on individually, because we are not in the same area. We're spread a little bit across the province, our team. So as program director, I'm working remotely from Saint Antoine, which is close to Bouctouche on the east coast of New Brunswick, and that's Mi'kmaq territory. I've been, like we said, I've been with the organization the longest. I wore many hats, even executive director for a year now, and the program director role. My role is really to lead a group of educators within our organization in delivering content and quality program, project-based learning and inquiry-based learning programs. So Annalie?
Annalie Vienneau. Like Jimmy said, we work remotely for now, and I work in the Wolastoqiyik territory, which is in Nashwauk Bridge, north of Fredericton, New Brunswick. So we both work in different territories, which is pretty awesome. My role is to develop a Green Careers project, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And I'm part of the newest crew, I guess. So I've only been with the Gaia project since November of last year, and super happy to be here.
So today in our presentation, we'll kick it off with a short Mentimeter poll. So we'll have the information on screen for you in a bit here, just as an icebreaker. Then we will talk about the Gaia project. So a little bit of history, the approach that we are adopting, and a little bit of the impact of the organization. Then we'll focus on that specific program that I mentioned, like it's called Sustainability in Action, and it's focused at high school, so grade 9 to 12. And we're going to talk about the successes, some success stories that we had so far with this program. Then Annalie is going to take over and talk about a really exciting new component to the SIA program. Like she mentioned, the Sustainable Careers Project. So we currently have funding through ACOA for that. And it's a great partnership. We're really proud to have that now. And then we'll wrap it up with a sharing circle, like Q&A kind of circle. We might have some questions for you as well at that point. So let's start with the Mentimeter. So if you want to grab your cell phone or open a new tab in your browser, if you want, I'll give you a little bit of time. If you just want to scan this QR code, it's going to bring you directly to that that Menti. If not, you visit menti.com and the code is here. So I'm going to switch it to the Menti platform, and you'll have the code on top of the screen here. So let me just switch to that now. Just a minute. There you go. So you should see my Menti screen right now. Can I get a thumbs up, Emily? Okay, great. So first question. So when you enter that Menti with the code, you should be asked for 3 words that come to mind when thinking about project-based experiential learning, inquiry learning. So I'll give you a bit of time to enter your words. So I see engagement, authentic. So it's real life connections and content. I see engaging. Again, constructivism. I love it. I really think that's a strong word for it. High student engagement. Engagement is often mentioned here. Action, definitely. And we're all about that. You'll see, I'll talk about our mission in a bit here. Great. So I'm guessing everyone had a chance to enter theirs, looking at the number of, so that's great. Thank you very much. We will move on to the second question. What is your personal level of experience with project-based learning? So we're just curious to see what kind of audience we have. So are you, do you have no experience at all, a bit, a fair amount, or you're an expert? And so I see very little and fair amount. Oh, a little bit more, less. I'll give it another 10, 12 seconds. So it looks like we don't have people with no experience at all or very, very experienced. So that's good. We will talk a little bit about what we do as a project-based learning work at the Gaia project. So I'm gonna switch, and that was just it, a little icebreaker to questions. So I'll move it back to our screen to here. There you go. You should be back on the page. Awesome. So yes, we heard a lot of different words around project-based learning, and reality is we also came across these words a lot when we started with the Gaia project. Like we mentioned, I started in 2011, but the organization was established in 2009, and there was a lot of R&D at first, like a lot of testing, and we read a lot about project-based and inquiry-based learning, and what are important things to consider when doing so, like to include all students and engage them, and to make it easier for teachers to adopt this approach. So the Gaia project, first is to tell you a little bit about our mission. We're a New Brunswick-based charity, like we mentioned, nonprofit, and our mission is to empower youth to take action on climate change through education. So we work with schools and we work with teachers, and we develop content that they can use and they can lead sessions with. We are very fortunate to have a lot of supporters, a lot of good partners. Amongst the longest relationships we've had, we have NB Power, so the Energy Corporation in New Brunswick, and the McCain Foundation, and St. John Energy. So these guys and the government of New Brunswick have been great supporters of us, and we keep growing. I just mentioned we have ACOA now, like the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, really proud of that partnership. Over the past 10 years, Gaia Project has been providing in-class support and really important age-appropriate and curriculum-based content have been elaborated, and we've been doing that work in consultation with the New Brunswick Department of Education. So that partnership has been instrumental for us to gain access to schools, to get the credibility that we needed to stay in school and up our reputation as an organization. And that's why we're still around after 10 years and growing strong. We are working, like I mentioned, with teachers across the province on this unceded territory of the Wabanaki people we call New Brunswick. And everything we do is hands-on. It's about getting the students to be curious, to help enhance their skills. And we focus on causes and solutions to climate change crisis. So I'm just going to play a little video here so you can see what we do in action. So you get to see what kind of work we do in the school. That's a promo video that we prepared for our 10th anniversary. So I'm just going to switch to my other screen here where I have that video full screen, and it'll take about four or 5 minutes here, but it gives you a good overview of our work. So do you have a wide screen? All right, perfect.
Children are naturally curious. At Gaia, we ignite that curiosity by helping students take action on climate change. And it doesn't get any more active than this.
The kids are seeing with their own eyes, they're touching with their own hands, they're gonna take a lot more from it. That one drinking box times 700 kids makes a difference, right?
There we go. Time to get started. So remember, these are what?
These are garbage.
Garbage, that's right.
There were buckets, compost, garbage, paper and cardboard, and reusables. We had to sort them to see how much all of the buckets weighed. I thought it was gross, but it also helps the earth.
I just love when the Gaia project comes in because, again, 5 or 6 or 7 of those kids are gonna go home tonight and they're gonna be inspired.
The trash tracker program is really fun. If there's too much garbage, then it won't help the earth. So that's the reason why we pick up garbage. And that's the reason why I have gloves on.
Ce que Gaia a à offrir qui est différent, c'est le fait qu'on donne des outils aux jeunes, mais on les laisse vraiment mener, amener les projets à terme.
We are going to be monitoring the total energy that is
On leur donne un sentiment de confiance, qu'ils sont capables de régler des questions complexes comme celle des changements climatiques.
If you come back on Tuesday and it says 000, that means that whatever you monitored maybe didn't use any energy.
You plug it into an outlet, and then you plug the device into it, and it counts the watts it uses over a period of time. We're picking an object we would like to plug into it, and we're leaving it over the 4-day weekend to see how much energy it uses while nobody's at the school.
Gaia brings an opportunity for specific knowledge to reach my students. When we did the electric vehicle lesson, these students had an opportunity to see an electric vehicle, but also had the opportunity to learn about peak energy.
When we come in, we see them light up. We light the spark in taking action at their school. We're seeing students come up with solutions we are not even thinking about.
Solar power.
C'est notre programme de compostage. On a à peu près 2 livres de vers de terre dans chaque bin. C'était juste un projet qui touche beaucoup de facettes qu'on pouvait. C'était pas juste simple, c'était pas juste une chose. C'était comme les déchets, l'éducation. Gaïa a inspiré le projet totalement.
Gaïa est capable d'amener ça à un autre niveau. Gaïa est vraiment capable de les amener à un niveau beaucoup plus loin avec cette confiance-là.
Dans le monde, il y a ce mouvement-là mondial de mobilisation énorme, puis beaucoup de ces mobilisations-là, c'est des jeunes. Souvent, on va dire, on va entendre l'expression « les citoyens de demain », les jeunes sont les citoyens de demain. Mais nous, on croit fermement que c'est pas des citoyens de demain, c'est des citoyens d'aujourd'hui.
School is preparation for life. The Gaia project is just a perfect example of that ability to put an idea in the kids' heads so they can take it with them for life. It's important.
Sorry, I had autoplay on here. So you should be back on the presentation now. Perfect. So see, in 4 or 5 minutes, we really encapsulated what the Gaia project is all about. And you've seen different programs in that video, like our trash tracker program, our energy detective program, and our sustainability in action program as well. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about these, but focus on sustainability in action. But first, about our impact in schools. This year, students all across New Brunswick, we made real efforts to make all of our programs accessible virtually last year. We worked really, really hard because we were so used to go in a classroom and work directly with them, and we didn't have that access anymore. So we decided to launch a campaign called the Climate Quest, and then we revisited all of our programs in the classroom and made them downloadable and sent kits to schools. And we're still in this delivery model right now, and it's been challenging at times, but it's really exciting. It's almost like the COVID situation for us was not it was a balance of negative and positive. It really helped us explore things that we didn't have the courage maybe before to try, and it's been great. So we engage students in local energy and climate change project, like the 2 Peak Challenge, the flooding mitigation projects, food security projects. With the help of Gaia, they were able to explore a lot of that. We worked mainly on three different goals of the sustainability development goals, which are number 13, climate action, number 12, responsible consumption and production, and number 7, affordable and clean energy. But the real focus is really climate action for us. That's where we thrive the most. We reached all 7 school districts in French, English, and we even worked with Indigenous communities. So we're really proud of that, and we're just looking forward to grow that even more. We, in terms of student reach, we're over 25,000 now, so it's super exciting to see that. It actually opened the door to get to reach more students because we didn't have to do as much driving, so there was a lot of barriers we had before that we were able to push aside for this year. So 261 individual teachers registered for one of our resources, either project-based learning or a downloadable learning package. And we ran 146 action projects in New Brunswick, and we're still going for the rest of the year. So in terms of the breakdown, like I said, we have project-based learning and we have resources packages. We have the K-2, that's a new in development program, literacy kit, where we'll send some books to schools. They'll be able to explore climate change crisis and some topics around it with the younger grades, so K-2, really exciting. It's a lot of storytelling at that age. It really makes it fun and makes it more for them. It makes more sense to go through storytelling. We have a grade 3 to 5. You saw the trash tracker earlier. Grade 6 to 8, energy detective, the one where you saw that little meter, and finally the one I'm going to be focusing on at the next slide is sustainability in action. In our resources package, we have Climate Quest, which is an initiative that we launched when we didn't have access to schools anymore. We had to turn around, do something, and so we launched this campaign. It was an activity every morning in parents' inbox, and they could download it and do it with their students at home to try to still learn about climate change and take action in any way they could, given the situation. Sometimes it was challenging, but we would help them keep the learning going. Energy engineers, another package that we have, where we explore energy sources with the grade 3 to 5, and we also have a scenario of a community we call the Gaia Town, and they have to choose which energy they're going to put and what is going to be the impact of this. We currently have 29 eco schools, Canada, registered. So we partnered with eco schools and working towards certification in New Brunswick. So that's a really, really exciting partnership, and we're looking forward to just growing that. And every occasion we get to get a school on board, we do. And so far, for the first year, we're really proud to see already these schools taking, in this situation, this special situation, they still manage to get on the eco school train, I guess. 50 classroom climate action poster is something we developed last year as well, and it's a poster with a number of scratchable actions, and we have multiple topics. We touch on water, energy, transportation, nature, and so they scratch off an action. They could do it daily or weekly. It's at the discretion of the teacher, but they post that in their classroom, and they go through things that students can do themselves to take action on climate change. It's really, really exciting. And we have, I'm missing some notes here. Let me go back just a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, new this fall, I'll come back to my screen. We will have 2 new things as well. The Energy Escape program at grade 6 to 8, which is the theme of an escape room, and it's all about energy outage preparedness, because we know with climate change, we risk getting more storms and more damage to power lines and more outage potentially. So we want students to be prepared and to not feel anxious about that. And so we made it as a fun exercise, a discovery exercise, a downloadable one, where we send a kit and a mystery box that they have to unlock. So they've got some challenges to solve, and at the end they get one of the digits to open the padlock. So really excited about that. And we're just launching in May our EV video, electric vehicle video, and we've been sending some teasers on our social media if you were following us. But this program is going to be reshaped. We had an electric vehicle program in the past, where we brought a vehicle, our Chevrolet Volt. In the video, you saw our previous car, the C-Max, Ford C-Max, and now we have a Chevrolet Volt that we brought for years to schools, and we got the students on board to sit in it and do a little bit of a drive on the parking lot of the school for them to understand the functioning of it. and how it's not that different from a typical gasoline car, but in terms of impact it could have on reducing emissions. We talked about that with them, and it's been a great program, and we just want to reframe that. And we newly acquired some electric scooters and bikes, so that's an opportunity for us to maybe bring this program down in middle school as well. So exciting things to come. Sustainability in action. So the project-based learning program that we run with grade 9 to 12. I'm going to talk a little bit about that one here, and show some success stories, and then Anneli is going to take it from there and talk about green careers, a really exciting component coming up. So it's a project-based program. Everything we do in this is hands-on, experiential, and it's almost like a small research project. Like they have to focus on a topic and develop it and come up with research questions, and it's almost like a mini thesis. At the end, they have to pitch what they discovered, what are reflections that they had, and they have any solutions to the situation. So students lead the whole investigation, and they come up with the methods to do their data collection. We supply them with some equipment for different types of project, and we keep adding to that kit year after year based on what the students mention would be useful. So we try to always replenish these kits with ideas from the student. And they have the choice of exploring those 5 sustainable topics. So water, waste, food, transportation, or electricity. And they can look at different angle of these topics, but we really let them come up with the driving questions, the whole research question behind it. So we try to do a bit of an exercise around question formulation and thinking about what is a good research, what is a good driving question for a project, and then we try to pair these students by passion or by topic that they are interested in. Some success stories we had in the past with that program. We have a class here at Carleton North High School, and that's one of the earliest success stories we had. The school had bought some thermal curtains, you can see on the left here, a couple of years before the project, and they were never closed. And apparently those would act as an insulation overnight to try to keep the heat in. And so they went and they calculated, they used some of our temperature censoring devices, data loggers that we had, and they programmed frequency for temperature reading, and they did a lot of what an engineer would do as a classroom, and they came up with the conclusion that they could potentially save $15,000 to $20,000 a year just by closing those curtains. That's really impressive. And following that, they obviously led a campaign to make sure, like form a committee, make sure that they would close these curtains to save that energy and save that money for their district. So they even won a energy efficiency award for that. So you see the whole class here on the slide, and the teacher, really big champion of the Gaia project, now retired sadly, but really big champion, Daryl here holding the prize. At Fredericton High School, they looked at toilet upgrades. So they were concerned about the water usage because they are water metered at that school, and they wanted to know, are we just wasting water and money? And they wanted to know if there was anything they could do to change that. So that group really blew us away because they used the technology that we provided in a way that was totally different from what we've seen before. And they use a temperature sensor that they put in the back tank of the toilet to figure out how many flushes there were. Because every time the flush would happen and the new water would come in, that water would touch the sensor, and on the reading on their graph at the end, when they exported that data, it would show a drop in temperature, meaning, oh, there was a flush there. So really precise, and they measured the volume of one flush, so they were able to calculate how much water. And they put in place some initiative to reduce water usage after. One of them was to purchase tank reducers and install that in some of the toilets, and even change some of the toilets for lower flush toilets. École Sainte-Anne, you saw in the video in Fredericton, they went for a full composting system. They did a project at first just looking at the capacity and biomass that was going out of classrooms, like getting in the trash cans. So they installed those buckets, they collected the individual classes biomass, and they measured daily. And eventually they formed a committee, and they had a sustainable direction committee in place, and they paired with them, and they made it happen. They financed it, and that's even going on still today. And that project, I believe, has been there for 5 or 6 years so far. So it's a really, really exciting story to tell people, because it was initiated by a student's project as part of the Gaia Project program. And finally, we had multiple classes looking at lighting retrofit and motion censoring. They looked at the lighting in their gymnasium, cafeteria, classrooms, and some went as far as like finding the money to invest in new systems, or retrofitting. As a matter of fact, the group here on screen is the group from Bathurst High School, and these guys not only installed motion censoring device in some hallways, but they were able to get every light in their gymnasium retrofitted to LEDs. So it's a really exciting thing for students, because if they get to go back to school the next year, they're proud of the accomplishment that they made. They made something permanent in their school, and even when they're gone, they go to post-secondary or workplace, they know they made a difference. So it's really, really empowering for them. So at this point, we will switch screen. Annalie, you'll take over and talk a little bit about this exciting new green career component. So I'll stop the sharing on my side if I can find where. Okay.
Thank you.
Take it from here.
I'm going to share my screen now. Can you see the screen? Thumbs up. Thanks, Jimmy. So, green careers, what is that all about anyways? Let's see here. So for us, like Jimmy mentioned before, we talked about Sustainable Career Project, but now we're really introducing Sustainable Green Careers or a career project through this already existing program. So the importance of this project is really to enhance partnerships, to help with skill development, successful solution implementation, and like the stories that Jimmy has mentioned or showed us in the previous slides of all the youth student projects, a lot of these projects couldn't have been successful without the help of community partners. So not only do partnerships, like I said, help with skill development, provide a great experience for teenagers in a class setting, but it also looks at making those connections with community partners. And also at the Gaia Project, we are really proud of inter-organization partnership that has been developed in the last year or so. So we're working with the Clean Foundation, who I think are here in the call, and CCNL for an Atlantic partnership around sustainability education and youth climate action. And this is funded by the ECCC. Very exciting stuff, but just wanted to share that regarding partnerships. So stay tuned for that. So for this project, more specifically, we really believe that the future generation can help mitigate climate change through their career or business. But first, they need to see what green careers look like. So this is, again, believe the importance of connecting youth to local mentors and experts. But before we dive into this part of the project, or I guess the presentation, I have questions for you. So I also have a mentee. If you wouldn't mind connecting to Menti and following this code, you can either scan the barcode and follow this, and I'll give you a few minutes or maybe a few seconds, I guess, before I share my screen. And the code is 86324473. En français, le 8-6-3-2-4-4-7-3. I'm gonna go get my other screen here. And the code will be on the screen as well. So the code is 86324473 on menti.com. So my question for you is, what words best describe green jobs? Mindful, sustainable, vast, sustainable, local, forward-thinking, great words. Renewable, respectful, mindful, yes, 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 yes. A lot of sustainable, that's good, because that's what we do. Talk about new, future, less wasteful, great ones. Then we have innovative, and I know there's new ones in there. Awesome, yes. So these are words that best describe green jobs. Now I have one more question for you. So what are different types of green jobs that you know of? When we think green jobs, what are those? What are those jobs? Ocean conservation, environmental educators, urban development. Yes, and there was a great presentation today, this morning, opening about urban development, which was amazing. Outdoor education, ecologists, yes, solar installation, urban development. Great participation, everyone. Ecologists, outdoor educators, retrofitting, yes, it's something else, absolutely. Sustainable farming, yes. Renewable energy, valuation, ocean conservation, great, amazing. I'm just gonna switch back. I hope I gave everyone enough time, and I'm gonna switch back to my slides here. There we go. So, yes, thank you for your participation. So as you can see, you know, there are many words to describe green jobs, but really for us, what was important is we wanted to look at green jobs for this project at a really wide lens, and to look at jobs that help mitigate climate change directly, but also indirectly as well. So not just focusing on field work per se. So when creating this project, we really wanted to make sure to showcase that every job really has the potential to become green. That's part of our messaging. So the general broad, I guess, definition that we use is a green job is a job or any job or self-employment that genuinely contributes to a more sustainable world. And I do have to point out that we're not only the only ones developing a project like this. I know that PLT, Project Learning Tree, and Relay Education, both great organizations, are also developing or also have developed a project similar to this, but we're really trying to tailor it to New Brunswick and to the students that we have here. So we are continuing to recruit passionate New Brunswick industry experts who are interested in inspiring youth by helping to educate them on various green career pathways. So we know that green jobs exist and can be found in any economic sector. Could be, you know, agriculture, industry, service, administration, science, arts, education, and so on. So we really wanted our list of over 50 participants that we have, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, but we wanted our list to reflect the diversity in green jobs. So we started recruiting mentors and participants in January. And like I mentioned, the list keeps getting bigger and bigger, but I wanted to share with you just a few examples of experts that we have on our list. So we're looking at operation managers for smart energy companies. We have researchers, analysts for climate change at a government level, urban planners, we have electric vehicle experts, program coordinators for food sustainability programs, engineers, and so on. But what does that look like? So implementing this project, the key purpose is to showcase the green jobs. So to put a face really on those jobs and to help students better understand that connection with the green job and how their job helps mitigate climate change. So the key to this successful project is to really adapt the involvement or the levels of participation to the availability of our local experts. So really, again, our objective is for us to help facilitate these connections in the community and to seek out experts when needed. So this could look like creating a career profile that's accessible to students and teachers, which would go through, your career pathway, who you are, what you do, and what does that job look like. So that's more of a text form that teachers and students will be able to access. Pre-recorded interviews, which are fun, which are also great visually to show the career pathway again. We talk about connecting directly with students and teachers throughout virtual platforms, similar to what we're doing now, but just really helping facilitate that connection with the students. And hopefully sooner than later it will be in person. Answering student questions through email and being involved in special school projects. So what is next for our projects? It's a fairly new project in development. We're still right now recruiting mentors and participants, but what is next for us? And this is the part that we wanted to share with you to showcase also this can be done pretty much everywhere, but just to show you the reality that we are facing. So
Annalee, sorry, just to jump in, just a time check. There's just a few minutes left if we want to fit in a couple questions at the end.
Thank you so much. It's actually part of my last slide, so thank you. So for us, even if we're bilingual, New Brunswick is an official bilingual province, our list is mainly composed right now of English-speaking participants. So we're working to really develop those Francophone connections and also want to involve more Indigenous local experts. We're looking at developing a green jobs quiz and activities just to start a conversation in the classes. And also work more closely with life career focused collaborators and career counselors in schools. We're finalizing the questionnaire for the career profiles and record and edit interviews. And the last one is keep developing, our new partnerships. So this project is not close to being done, but what's exciting for us is we're receiving really good feedback from it, and we're always looking to get more feedback and can't wait to pilot this new project in schools. So I hope that we can inspire others to reach out to local green experts and on a more formal or more strategic way. But the main objective always remains to educate youth and to help youth take action on climate change. So we feel that the career element is just another way to get there. So if you wanted to learn more about us, here's our social media channels, but I'd like to open up the floor and I'll stop sharing my screen here for our sharing circle. So Woliwan, Wolalan, merci. Thank you for participating in this presentation, and I'll just stop sharing my screen.
Just wanted to give a big thank you to Jimmy and Annalee. That was so awesome. Great to learn so much more about what the Guy Project has been up to. So we are running a little tight on time, but we could probably fit in maybe one question if anyone wants to send one in on the chat or just chime in, because like right on screen. Okay, just getting thank yous. Yeah. Okay, so we may have to move the conversation over to the Guy Project social media channels if you have any follow-up questions for them. Annalee had those links on the page, and if you have any final words for everyone, please.
Yeah, I'd like to just say visit our website if you want to know more, because we have and we will do a lot of work